Hello children. So today I have decided that that we are going to have two different debates on very important topics. And the debate one is, can we call this entire planet a living body? And if we can call the entire earth a living body, so how can we what are we doing to take care of its health, because its health is deteriorating day by day. So this is the debate number one, that can we call this entire planet, this earth, a living body. And debate number two is that is it right, seeing into the actions what human beings are doing, being called the most advanced and civilized species of all the species, what human being, the race of human being has been doing for centuries to this planet, seeing the actions, can we call them that they are the most dangerous animal on this earth? So today, with these two different debates topics, I'm here to discuss about your chapter, the fifth chapter of your Hornbill book, that is the ailing planet, the green movement's role. Children, this chapter discusses about the deteriorating health condition of earth, and that is because of the human beings growing lust to exploit all its resources. And that's why it's very rightly called that there's a zoo at Lusaka, Zambia, where if you visit there, you will find that there's a board indicating and saying it loudly that visit that site and you will get to see the world's most dangerous species or animals. And the people, reading that caption, they get overexcited, and they really want to see that who is that the most dangerous animal on this earth. And going there, they find that there is nothing, there is a big mirror on display, and they get to see their own reflection, and that means only human being is the most dangerous animal on this earth. So dear children, so this chapter is not any chapter, it's not like any literary chapter, it's an article. And that article was written by Nani Palkhiwala, and that article got published on 23rd November 1994 in Indian Express. And this chapter, in the opening lines of this chapter, we find it talks about that green revolution that happened, and that was founded in New Zealand back in the years 1972. And it is also said that there was no other revolution which has impacted and which has forced people to think about the deteriorating health condition of this earth. And after having discussions and the things put together and highlighted in green revolution in New Zealand in 1972, people has a change in their mindset, and there's a shift of the change. Earlier people had a mindset for the mechanical shift, but that mechanical thing has been changed into ecological and holistic viewpoints. Children, I must tell you that in the year 1985, the World Commission on Environmental Development has popularized the concept of sustainable development. So we need to understand what is the sustainable development. So this sustainable development says that we should keep on progressing. We should meet our requirements without compromising the needs and the future of coming generation. Lot of things is said in this chapter, children. Lot of things, nicely facts are brought about, so I'm going to take one by one. But before I go into this, I would like to start with a very fine quote of Gandhiji. Gandhiji once said that there is enough in this planet for everybody's need, but not for anybody's greed. That means we can never complain of that we don't have any resources. We have resources. This earth planet is a unique planet. It's beautifully designed, crafted, and it's presented before us. But we human beings, this human race, this humanity, will have to stop being selfish, and then only we can live in harmony with this. Now children, when we call this entire earth a human body, so like even we are human body, so human beings are there. So similarly, we have also many metabolic process going on in our body, and those metabolic process keep us alive. Similarly, when we call this earth a living body, so there are many metabolic aspects going on, and we need to take care of those metabolic aspects of the earth, and we need to protect them. One thing we should never forget, we human beings, we are the Homo sapiens species, and we think we are the most advanced and civilized. But we must not forget that we here are as a partner. There are 1.4 million of different species of plants and animals which are and the earth is a home to them. So we must not forget that we have to live in harmony and coexist with other species. We cannot, at no point of time we can think that we are the most advanced, so all we are going to do, it's all fine. We have to see that our way of living is not going to affect the others, the other species of this earth. Now let us discuss about this. Some 30 years back, children, some 30 years back, this concept of global warming and climate change used to be an abstract idea, but now it is a reality. Just let us start talking about it, about what is happening in the Australia forest. It's been on fire for months and months, and people are unable to find out a clue on how to put out the fire and extinguishes. Same thing is condition in that if we go to that American continents, so there Amazon forest is facing the same problem. If we talk about the glaciers, this century, in the last few decades, some of the glaciers have been literally declared dead. The level of the sea is going up. Recently in summer season, we have seen that some of the European and American countries, they have recorded the maximum temperature which they had never felt before. Let us talk about Delhi and our NCR region. That in the last in 1 month, we have felt so many tremors of the earthquake. And visit Delhi in the November and October months, it's literally becomes a gas chamber, and you are not able to breathe in there. And so all these things is a reality, and we need to check on it. Otherwise, if we do not do it, if we do not discuss on it, if we do not work on it, we will not be there to survive. Let us take the example of COVID-19 pandemic. What is this? It's I would call it a purely man-made crisis, and see how we are there. So when some crisis comes, you people prefer to remain, keep yourself locked, and you remain inside for 3 months. And otherwise, in the normal time, when the life isn't going and normally, even you cannot take that small steps. So all these things are well mentioned in the chapter. Now let us talk about Brown. Brown said that there are 4 ecological systems on this earth. That is fisheries, forest, grassland, and croplands. And this 4 ecological systems are very important, because these provide food to us, to human beings, and raw material to the industries. Why about food to only human beings? They support the life and give shelter and their house to the million and billion of different kinds of the plants and animals. So we need to take care of this. And now see, recently I would like to add this thing in your information. We called ourselves that we are the most advanced and civilized creature of all the beings. What happened in Kerala? There it was reported that someone put some cracker into a pineapple, and that the pineapple which was full with the crackers was offered to that elephant, and it burst and the elephant died. Are we to be called do we deserve to be called that most advanced and civilized creature on this earth? No, not at all. And in the words of Mr. Jha, this quote is also given there, and I would like to show. Mr. Jha says, what are we supposed to leave for our coming generation? He said, and the same line I'm going to quote, he said, are we to leave our successors a scorched planet of advancing desert, impoverished landscape, and ailing environments? Once again I repeat, what did Mr. Jha said? Mr. Jha said, are we to leave our successors a scorched planet of advancing desert, impoverished landscape, and ailing environments? Are we going to leave all these things? Now if we talk about the human population, it is one of our biggest challenge that our coming generation would face. Let us talk about the population of the world in 18th century. What was the total population of the world in 18th century? So children, the total population of the earth in 18th century was 1 billion. That means it took million of years to reach to the population of 1 billion, and now another 1 billion is added in just in 100 years. And now if we talk about the world population of 2020, it is 7.8 billion, and alone the population of India is 1.3 billion. That means some 200 to 300 years back, the population, which was the population for the whole world, more than that, we have the population now alone in our country. Now let us talk about that we need to put immediate check on the growing rate of population, and that is possible with the three things happening. If we can, if the income rises of the people, the income rises, the health condition improves, and if there's a spread of education, so of course we are going to have a check on this population. Now children, this tropical forest, they are called the powerhouse of evolutions. So now see what is going. They are being cut down. They are being cut down, and they are being cleared. And if we talk about the fossil fuel, still is still in part of our country. It's mentioned in the chapter that people use the wood for the fuel for cooking purpose. And it is said that what goes under the pot is costlier than what goes into the pot. That means the firewood which is being used for cooking the purpose, so that entire firewood is going to be costlier than what we get after cooking that food. And you must not forget children that the cow dung we use for burning purpose, but they are supposed to be used for manures, because they add to fertility of the soil of this. Now we need to understand with the rate of the increase of the population what it is causing to the forest and to the rich forest of our country. So there is a data, and to be very precise and accurate with the data, with each passing second, in each 1 second, 1.5 acres of the lands are cut down to meet the requirements for the industrialization, for the urbanization, for getting the different requirements. So each second, children, just think on it. Each second, 1.5 points of the acres of the lands are being cut down and cleared. So this is going on. So what are we going to, are we, if at the same rate, if the forests are being cleared, will there be any forests and trees left in the world? So there would not be left anything. And can we expect about this life, without this forest? No, it's not possible at all. So all these things we need to take care of, and going in the further towards the end of the chapter, children. So going towards the end of the chapter, there is a beautiful line quoted by the British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher. Margaret Thatcher once said, no generation has a free hold on this planet. All we have is a life tenancy with a full repairing lease. Once again repeat, what was the words of Margaret Thatcher? Margaret Thatcher said, no generation has a free hold on this planet. All we have is a life tenancy with a full of repairing lease. And that chapter is concluded with a very positive quote. That is, it said that we have not inherited this planet from our forefathers. We have borrowed it from our children. That only means we have to take care, we have to use the resources in a way that we are not compromising. The coming generation will not have problem to face. But looking at this present condition, we find, that the future generation, I think they will not have any life. And taking the same point ahead, I want to quote, I want to share a small story about a very young activist, a young climate activist and environment activist, and her name is Greta Thunberg. She is from Sweden. She is just a teenager, environmental activist. Now what happened? Now let me tell you, she suffers with a particular disease, and that name of that disease is Asperger's. Now what are the problems people face when someone suffers with disease Asperger's? So the person suffering from the disease Asperger's, the people have a communication problem, they have a social interaction problem and non-verbal communication. But the good point is that they are very honest, they speak of their mind, they are very straightforward, and they are their sense of social justice is strong. So let us talk about this Greta Thunberg. How did she came into, she became very popular, and today the entire world knows about her, who she is. In the year 2000, 2018 in the month of October, she read somewhere the things going on about the global warming and climate change, and she became so much obsessed with the idea that she stopped taking food. She could not lead a normal life, and she could not even sleep. And then she had a discussion with her parents, and she decided that she would not go to school, and she stopped going to school. And then she, every day she would come out of her house, she would go and she would sit outside the British Parliament with a board in her hand, that is school strike for climate change. And very soon, the other people got impressed with her ideas, and they joined her. And today she has a fan following of millions of people all around the world. And every Friday she declares a strike for the student, and she appeals to the student not to go to school and declare that Friday future for Friday. She says, and I don't say that she's wrong in her point, she says, these people, this politician, this industrialist and these bureaucrats, they do not bother about our future generation, and we are not going to have any future, then why to go to school? And now such strong personality she is twice nominated, for the Nobel Peace Prize twice. She was nominated. And when she had given, she keeps move around the world giving speeches and having conferences, meeting people and young leaders and activists. Now once she had to go to America, United States, to address United States Climate Action Summit in 2019, and she did not go over there by flight because she understood it would emit carbon dioxide, and that is again a problem of the global warming. And she went over there on a small boat that was operated with a solar panel, and going there she made a very powerful speech, and the title of her speech was "How Dare You?" And into that she said, that this all big people, politicians, bureaucrats and the people, world leaders, they have failed to keep their promise, to keep the earth a healthy place to live, and they have snatched the dreams of the small children. So I want that all my children, you must start thinking and behaving and acting like Greta Thunberg. I want each of my children to be a Greta Thunberg, and then only this earth would remain earth, and it would remain a unique planet. Otherwise the total, the entire life would be wiped out of this planets. So this was the discussion I did with you children. Go listen to this video and go through the textbook. You will understand it's everything. Is that clear? God bless you.